Beautiful scene.
The anime mentor. What words or descriptions come to your mind when hearing that set of words? Perhaps someone who serves as a hero's guide and best friend, or maybe the sacrificial lamb to make some villain look oh so powerful. Whatever the case may be, we can all agree on one thing.
The worst case is sacrificing the mentor. It's just, it hurts. It's like it's pointless. He the OG, why he going out like that? But it does build up for a cool story.
Anime mentors are badass. That's why for today's list, we're going through some of my favorite moments when the anime mentor just shows off his strength in front of the student. After all, one of the easiest ways to get this upstart kid to trust you is to show them that you mean business.
That is one of my favorite moments in anime, especially when it's like a character that you don't anticipate to be as powerful as they are. For example, Hunter x Hunter, the chairman, of course you know he was strong. But did y'all know he was gonna hang with the king of the ants like that? I didn't. Kite either. I didn't know Kite was boxing until that moment.
Hunter x Hunter is one of my all-time favorite shows, and while the first person most fans would think of when it comes to mentors is Biscuit, I feel like Kite's pretty underrated. One of the most cold-hearted mentors in the series, Kite showed his mettle when he leads the team into battle against the Chimera ants. Running into the Hagio division, Gon and Killua get tested through individual battles against the enemies. For Kite, all he needs is his scythe, and the entire division gets wiped out in one fell swoop. Black Clover's Yami often puts on a show, and episode 49 is his crowning moment.
Oh man, I literally jumped out my seat for this scene.
Among the shonen mentors, I really like Yami because he gives off that rough edge. There are mentors who look badass, but Yami takes it a step further and shows how badass he was with
I mean, it was the way he came out, like how cocky he was. Like, it wasn't even in his words, it was just in the way he carried himself, his swagger. He just like, it's time for me to go beyond my limits or something like that. It was just hard.
Dark Cloak Dimension Slash. It's a power that's so strong that it's capable of cutting dimensions, dwarfing whatever Veto can throw at him. There's no kill the overkill, and see,
they were all struggling to fight this dude, and Yami, he wasn't even sure he had it. Just the way he was like, guess it's time for me to go past my limits. Bang! One shot.
Seeing Yami just put this elf down in such a dominant fashion is a real thrill. Everyone just looks on in amazement at the power of their captain. They're in good hands. As long as Yami is around, they know they can have someone to rely on while they strive to grow stronger. Let's continue with the new gen Shonen Train with Benimaru versus Infernal Demon.
Well, we all seen this right here. But they had already hyped Benimaru
as Shinra and Arthur find themselves in quite the fight against the Infernal Demon, who else should show up but Benimaru himself? To Benimaru, this fight is personal. With this powerful foe in front of him, he simply flexes his power while Shinra and Arthur watch on. Easily turning away the demon's attacks, Benimaru holds back out of concern for the town before deciding to take the battles to the skies. Here, he finally gets a chance to obliterate the enemy with his awe-inspiring sun wheel. People have been applauding the sound direction for this scene, and I think that it does add to the moment so much.
The sound direction for all the Fire Force was amazing. Like every hit, just the boom, the impact, you feel it in your chest. We need more of that.
This alone is one of the most awesome and satisfying sounds you could hear from Fire Force, and it's the perfect complement to watching Benimaru nonchalantly take the enemy down.
Just satisfying.
Rayleigh's Conqueror's haki deserves a mention.
It sounds like obliteration.
There's so much that you can do with so little. Do you believe that saying? You sure as hell can believe it after seeing Rayleigh's Conqueror's haki in the auction house. Rayleigh, contrary to expectations, didn't have the most explosive entry at first glance, but the sheer mystery of his silhouette entering the scene more than makes up for it. It even feels quite ominous and all, and when he does finish his entry, all he needed was one Conqueror's haki to clean house. There's just that sense of wonder, and I dare say dread in the character's expressions. There's that eerie feeling of, what the hell just happened? And it really kept the fans guessing when it comes to Rayleigh's true strength. Now that, my friends, is how you build hype with just one very pivotal moment. What an amazing debut for Rayleigh.
light work.
Saitama versus Genos is a rather unique application.
This cemented One Punch Man. It's like
You see,
an
while
heavy
most
AMV.
mentors show off their power by fighting villains and enemies in front of their protege, Saitama and Genos do it quite differently. Instead of enemies feeling the full brunt of said mentor's power, it's Genos who offers to do it, wanting to see the extent of Saitama's power. This is a rather unique setup for a mentor showing his protege his power, but it works. I was a bit worried as to how the battle would drag on due to Saitama's one-hit KO gimmick and all, but we surprisingly got quite the entertaining performance that shows Genos' determination. This is a battle that clocks in at almost 5 minutes, which I think also serves as a testament to Genos' strength. It's a friendly spar with not a lot of high stakes, but it also gives us a taste of what the two could do to each other.
Shoots each other. It's not even close.
Enjoying the video so far?
holding back
I'd
the
like
whole
to encourage
time.
you to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, ring the bell, and be here the next time I upload more countdown videos. That's enough for now. It's time to get going again. It's nice to look now once again where it all began. It's so refreshing after so many videos focusing on the final war arc and Madara, you know. For most of the series, we've heard of how great Minato was and all, but we've never actually seen that strength in action. That is, until the flashback arc, which shows us important groundwork on how the Nine Tails in Naruto came to be. Tobi, at this point of the timeline, was one of the most powerful characters around, and it showed in the battle. With all of his power, even Minato struggled to land a hit, but with some ingenious tactics and possibly the most epic Rasengan
It
in
was
the
just a little private battle in the forest. Like, it's mentor showcasing power in front of their students. I don't know.
series so far. The fourth Hokage defies all odds and finally forces Tobi to escape.
Still fire
Coolest
scene.
mentor and coolest dad? You get both in Minato. Not to mention being super smart too. Who else can devise a counter to the very overpowered Kamui on the fly?
油断も隙も契約封印これからキュービを引き離す気かこれでキュービはお前のものでなくなった
All Might taking on Nomu may have been one of the best highlights of early My Hero Academia.
Not one of the best, the best. Come on, man.
What a way to close out the first part of My Hero Academia. There's no bigger test for our heroes than an outright battle of survival against some of the toughest villains there is. And it seems like our heroes are in for certain doom until All Might arrives. In a way, this is pretty much just a punch harder fight. However, one can't overlook the emotions the scene evoked when put together. The build up to the actual fight together make a great moment. From All Might's appearance as a beacon of hope and how he just casually talks down and beats down the Nomu, it's just so satisfying. This
Especially since at this point you already know that All Might is losing his power.
is a scene that never gets old. I personally think that All Might has some scenes down the line that one-up this in terms of awesomeness, but it's here where we first get a glimpse of how far ahead the world's symbol of peace is. He's pretty much Deus Ex Machina incarnate around this time, and his save remains one of my favorites from shonen anime. After all of that, we take a look at
We got hop back on My Hero. It's been a minute. I'm behind. But to be honest, they were just not holding my attention like that. Like My Hero, they could go from like mid to S tier just like that. And I just need more S tier. Come on.
Tengen versus Daki. One of the biggest moments of Demon Slayer's Red Light District arc gives us the Upper Moon Daki taking on the Kamado siblings. Yep, you heard that right. Nezuko finally gets a chance to shine as she engages in combat against one of the most powerful demons that the series has shown so far. And it's a fight that took everything from them. Even with Nezuko's awakened powers shown so.
When Tengen just appeared and he gave Daki her bag, I was like, oh, he nasty! He the flashiest
far, and it's a fight that took everything from them. Even with Nezuko's awakened powers, the siblings still had their hands full dealing with Daki. In an epic battle that could have gone either way, the Kamados come out on top, but not before sustaining major injuries. The bad news, Daki's still ready to go for more. The good news, it opens for Tengen to come in and finish the job. I almost felt like adding this moment was cheating because Tengen just came in for the last hit, but considering that the siblings at full strength are unable to completely eliminate Daki, it just shows the difference in power between them and a pillar. Tengen's boast afterwards is pretty cool too. That's way too easy, isn't it? Suspiciously so. These guys, they're gonna be in for a real surprise.
Lightweight. I believe the English dub said something like, "You're not even worth my time." I was like, shit on them, Tengen.
And to wrap up today's list, we have Gojo versus Jogo.
Also, another one not from their students. But whatever, this was top tier. Top tier.
When I first saw Gojo, I knew we were in for something special. He has that whole laid-back and cool attitude along with the accolades to go with it. He made one hell of a first impression in the very first episode, and I knew that it was only a matter of time before he'd break out as one of the anime community's favorite mentor figures. And that he did when he...
Bro, when Gojo explained that he had the infinity around him so he never touched him once in that fight, like, it's a wrap. What could you do? You gotta figure out the science behind this. Run.
Yuji encountered Jogo. Jogo quickly goes on the attack and seemingly finishes Gojo off in one hit. However, the badass teacher brushes it off like nothing and proceeds to do the same thing to the next attacks that the curse can throw at him. When Yuji and he got caught in the domain expansion, it didn't even faze Gojo one bit. In what looked to be a very dangerous and deadly fight, Gojo casually breezes through it, flexing and turning this whole affair into a freaking tutorial session where
that dude though, I think his name was Jogo. He was surprisingly nice. I didn't know he was going to be that nice. He looked kind of goofy, but he had moves.
He can teach Yuji more about domain battles. There wouldn't be a bigger mentor flex than that.
That was right. Yuji was there. What a G. One head.
That's got to do it for my top moments of mentors showing off their power to their students.
Beheaded.
I'd love to know your favorite among them, and I'm curious if you've got more suggestions too. Before you leave,
my favorite one probably had to be the Fire Force joint. It was just so satisfying. Hold on, let's go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. That was cool. That was cool. Yeah, but I definitely think I can see why Gojo had first place. That's definitely understandable. But yeah, I mean, I hope y'all enjoy that. You gotta love a good, like, mentor beatdown. Like, when they set up the plot just so the mentor could, you know, let his dick swing. You know, let his balls hang for once. You gotta love it. So, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Till the next time. Peace.
I don't want pain no more. I don't want no more pain. I ain't gonna see no way. Look at that with no pain. See the rain coming down, but it is not purple today. Came a long way from stacking and rolling that change. And all I ever wanted was some real.